Hi everybody, it's Gemma. Welcome back to Pampered Wolf. In this video, I am going to be doing a full face of flawless makeup using only affordable products. I have done this previously, but with higher end products. If you haven't seen that already, I will link that up here for you and also in the description box so you can watch that a little bit later on. It's been a challenge picking out these products because usually I would reach for those higher end products. However, a lot of these products I've spoken about on my channel before, and most of them, if not all of them, have featured in my better than high end videos. If you haven't seen those, I will also link them in the description box for you as well. So we're going to get straight on with this today. If you are new here, hi, my name's Gemma. I upload 2 to 3 videos here on YouTube every single week. I'm also on Instagram if you fancy checking me out over there as well. And I would really appreciate it if you haven't done so already. Come and join the Pampered Wolf Pack by clicking on that subscribe button and also the notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. Let's get straight on with eyes. So this is a relatively new product for me, but it seriously is good. It's from Beauty Bay. It's one of their own brand products and it's their eye base. I've got this in the shade Base 2 and I just think it's really good quality for the amount that you pay. I think it's something like £6 and this is going to last me a really long time. This also covers any pigmentation, any veins underneath the skin, and it just creates that great base for all of my eyeshadows to stick to. Then I'm going to dip into some eyeshadow. The eyeshadow palette I've chosen to use today is from Colourpop and it's called That's Taupe. It's just beautiful. Really, really stunning shades and you know, there's a little bit of something for everybody in there. You can do something quite dramatic, you can do something very natural. So firstly, I'm going to dip into this shade here, which is called Boa. Really get that on my brush. Even though this palette is seriously affordable, I think the quality of shadows in here is fantastic. The colour payoff is great. Then I'm going to dip into this shade here, which is called Python. I'm only tapping my brush in and just applying that to the crease only. The reason I love this palette so much is these shadows are buildable and they don't scare me on my fair skin. So I have a skin tone that's fair to light, and I find that a lot of eyeshadow palettes don't really cater for me. The shades tend to be a little bit too deep and make me look a bit washed out. And this palette, I feel like, will cater for anybody with a fair to light skin tone, but also you can build these up for anybody who has a deeper skin tone as well. So I am all for it. I'm just going to deepen up that outer edge using Rock Steady. Just pop that on. So pretty. Really is pretty, pretty, pretty. So this palette has a really good mix of mattes versus creamy metallic shimmers. There are 5 mattes and there are 4 shimmers. Even if you're not really into those shimmery shades, if you don't feel you're going to use those at all, this palette is still amazing. And for me, because of its affordability, it's well worth trying because the mattes are really good quality, so easy to blend. And with this look in particular, you could quite easily put Rock Steady all over the lid and have a beautiful smoky eye. You don't really need to go in with any shimmers, although I am going to do that today. So I'm going to get the shade Cold Blooded. Put a little bit of that on my finger. You do have to be quite careful because these are quite soft. I'm just going to pop that on the outer portion of the midsection of the eyelid. Then I'm going to take this shade, which is called Slated, and it's slightly firmer to the touch, and pop that on the other side, more towards the inner corner. So, so pretty, really is. So I'm going to leave the palette there for the time being. I will come back to it a little bit later on. I am going to prime my skin just where I need it though. This is the NYX High Glass Face Primer and I'm just going to add a bit of light to the skin. So I'm just going to pop a little bit on the back of my hand. This is such a great product. Such a great product. So it just adds a little bit of illumination to the skin. Is that even the right way to use that word? I do not know. So I'm just adding this to the high points of my face just to highlight those areas. I'm not putting it all over, although you can put it all over, and I have done before, and it's very, very pretty, but I don't feel like the foundation that I'm going to wear today actually needs that level of illumination. It just adds a really subtle glass finish in a very natural way, which is obviously why I like it so much. As you know, I don't like a highlight that you can see from space. Let's do the base. The foundation that I'm going to be using today is one that I have recently found and I'm loving wearing. Now, you all know that a medium coverage or medium to full coverage foundation is really not my thing. I prefer something that is a light coverage on my skin, but every time I wear this foundation, my skin looks flawless and it lasts all day. This is the Physicians Formula Butter Believe It foundation and concealer. I have seen so many negative reviews about this. I love it. I absolutely love it. If I'm going for that medium to full flawless coverage, reach for this in a heartbeat. I really like it. I think the trick is application. Little is more. It really, really is. You cannot go in heavy-handed with this, otherwise I've got a feeling this will slide all over the place. But for me, with the way that I apply it, which is with a damp blending sponge, this stays all day on me. I am very careful not to apply too much around my smile lines and around my nose, where I tend to go cakey throughout the day. Also, in between my brows is a problem area for me. So I'm just applying the smallest amount to the back of my hand, and this is quite a loose liquid, which really helps. If you want a full-blown review on this, I have already done one. I will link it up here for you so you can watch that a little bit later. This shade is Fair to Light. Yeah, Fair to Light. And I feel like this is the best match for me. By the way, if you are one of those people that really doesn't like this foundation, if you have completely the opposite opinion to me, I am really eager to hear from you. So just let everybody know your experiences in the comments section. Just let everybody know your skin type and how you feel about this foundation, whether it worked for you, whether it didn't. Because I can only talk about my own experiences on this channel. So it's really, really helpful if we all share our knowledge and experiences. So that is one full pump on my skin. I don't need any more. I have no more foundation on the back of my hand, but I have used a damp blending sponge, so some of the foundation will have been soaked up into the sponge, so I won't have the full pump on my skin, but I just feel like it's cancelled out all my discoloration. I had some blemishes here, it's covered those over quite nicely. I don't feel like I've got to go over them with concealer as well. I just really, really like it. Let's go in with a bit of colour corrector underneath my eyes. The only thing I've done differently to the wear test that I did in the full-blown review, I haven't taken the foundation underneath my eyes because I just felt it looked a little bit heavy for my liking. So the colour corrector I'm going to be using today is from Revolution, and it's their Conceal and Correct in the shade Peach. This is the one that I feel is the best shade for me. They have darker ones, they also have lighter ones. I think they have a green, they have a purple, they have a yellow, and they have more of an orange colour, which is darker than this one. So if you have a skin tone that is deeper than mine, there will be a shade for you. So I'm just popping one dot underneath my eyes. I feel that's enough for me. And I'm just patting that in place just over my darkness, nowhere else, just over the darkness, just to cancel that out. I think this is really hydrating underneath my eyes. It's got good coverage, everything I like. And if I don't apply too much, and that is key, not applying too much, this doesn't crease on me either. So I've just given that around about 30 seconds to start to dry down before I'm applying the concealer over the top of it. The concealer that I'm going to be using today is another Revolution product. They have some amazing concealers. This one is the Conceal and Define Infinite, and I've gone for the shade C3.5. So with this, I'm not going to dot it underneath my eyes. I find the doe foot applicator is actually quite large, and sometimes I get a little too much product underneath the eye, which can be quite unforgiving. I am going to pop a bit on the back of my hand and then take my brush and just dot in there and apply it where I need it. So just going to be dabbing that on. And then once I've got it where I need it, I'm going to leave it for about a minute to start drying down before I go in with my damp blending sponge. So whilst that's drying down, it dries down super fast anyway, but I'm just going to give it a little bit of time just to make sure that it's not going to crease. I'm going to do my brows, and then I'm going to go in and powder my under eyes in place. Now, I've changed my brow routine recently to a pomade, but I haven't found a pomade that is absolute superb quality, very easy to use, that's affordable yet. So I'm going to go back to my trusty NYX micro brow pencil in the shade Ash Brown. First of all, just brushing through my brows before I go in and do the initial outline and then fill it in with the product. Once I've filled everything in, I'm going to go back with my spoolie, soften everything off, put the brows in place and just see if there are any bald spots that I've missed. And I can see here just needs deepening off that little bit. Okay, let's style these, set them, fix them in place. I like a really strong brow gel. I like one that is going to hold them in place for more than an hour. And usually the affordable ones tend to be a little bit wishy-washy and weak in the hold department. Nothing really is a patch on my Benefit Brow Setter. This is amazing. Absolutely amazing. The only one that comes close is from NYX, and it is the Brow Glue. So I'm going to use this today. This does come with a few challenges. It is a little bit on the stringy side, and the wand, I mean, it doesn't look luxurious, but it gets the job done. I find with this brow gel, the more you persevere, the better it gets. So once this glue starts to set, that's when I like to work with it, because it's far easier once the glue starts to dry down to be able to mold everything into position. So once I've filled in my brows and set them in place, if I need to fill in any sort of bald spots or add any fake hairs into the mix, I'll take my NYX Lift and Snatch. I really, really like this. Just helps to fill in any areas that you feel are lacking a little bit. Let's set the under eyes. So firstly, I'm just going to check that nothing is creased. If it has slightly moved, I'm just going to go over it with my damp blending sponge just to smooth everything out again. And then I'm going to take my Essence Brighten Up Banana Powder, just the way that I would usually use my Pat McGrath blurring powder. Oh, please don't break a nail, please don't break a nail. Oh, there we go, all intact. And I'm just pressing the powder into my under eye. This will help to brighten that under eye. It will also help to disguise any of my dark circle that's still managing to poke through. Pesky little thing. Okay, I'm gonna go back into my eyeshadow palette. I'm gonna go straight into the shade Python and go underneath that lower lash line. all the way under. Then I'm going to go in with a bit of liner. So the liner that I've chosen to use today is from Rimmel. It's one of their Scandalise liners, and this is in the shade 003, which is brown. And I am going to use that to tightline on the top and on the bottom waterlines. Once my top and bottom waterline are done, I'm just going to take it right on this outer edge, just above the lashes, but only a tiny weeny bit. Then I'm going to smoke that out and do the same on the lower. So I'm just going to curl my lashes slightly, but not much. And then I'm going to put a lick of the Maybelline Sky High mascara on. I love the wand of this. The reason I like it so much is because it is quite small and dinky, and I don't tend to get it all over my lids. So I'm going to apply this first. It adds super length to my lashes. I just find it keeps all my lashes separated to give me that fluttery look. Then I'm going to go in with the e.l.f. Lash It Loud mascara. I find that this is really good at giving me volume. Okay, so the eye look is completely finished. Let's move on to the rest of the face. I'm going to bronze things up a little bit, bronze my chest up to make everything match. I'm going to be using the Milani Silky Matte bronzing powder in the shade 02, which is Sunkissed. So I'm just popping that around the perimeter and then blending that downwards. I'm going to add a little bit to define my cheekbones and blend that up. Pop a bit on the tip of my chin and then bronze my neck and my chest just to make everything more matchy-matchy. Then I'm going to move on to blush, which is also from Milani. This is the Milani Cheek Kiss in the shade 110, which is Nude Kiss. I'm going to add a bit of this onto the back of my hand just to warm that up, and then dab in with a brush and start to apply it with a brush. And then I'm just going to tap that in with my fingers. Really, really pretty. Love that. I'm going to go for something quite neutral on the lip. I've grabbed my NYX lip pencil in the shade Nude Pink. So I really love a good quality lip liner, and I think the NYX lip liners are phenomenal quality. I particularly like this shade because it matches my natural lip colour, and the reason I like that so much, and I think it's really important, is that as I'm getting older, my natural outer lip line is fading, so I just want to add that back in and emphasise that a little bit. Also, a lip liner will help prevent your lipstick from bleeding out of your natural lip line. And you can put this all over the lip as well, just to add a little bit of colour. So if you're only wearing a lip gloss during the daytime, like I'm going to do today, once your lip gloss has worn off, you've still got a little bit of colour on the lip. And I just find that helps to add a bit of a primer base for the rest of your products. So the lip gloss I'm going to wear today is the Lifter Gloss from Maybelline. This is just such a great product. This is in the shade 004, which is Silk. It tastes really nice as well. What's that taste of? Like toffee? Possibly? Sweet, anyway. And finally, I'm going to spritz my face with a little bit of setting spray. This is not a daily thing, but I am going to be wearing a mask on the school run later, and I don't like my makeup transferring onto my mask. Also, I'm taking the kids out for a yes, we're celebrating. I'm taking them out for a McDonald's because it's their last day of school today. So they will be super excited. This is the Milani Make It Last setting spray, and I just think this is amazing. Sort of overkill there a little bit. Pretentious wafting. So that's the finished look for today. I feel absolutely amazing. The other day I did a full face of new affordable makeup and I felt below par all day. You know when you just walk around looking at yourself thinking something is missing today and I'm not quite sure what it is, and I'd applied everything, it just didn't look quite right. It wasn't to that level that I wanted it to be. Today, I do not have that problem. I love all of this makeup. I feel amazing and I haven't spent a fortune. Bonus. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know what you've thought about it in the comment section below and hope to see you all in the next video. Bye everyone.